Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you the 2020 Peter J. Salmon Employee of the Year and Milton J. Samuelson Career Achievement Award nominees.
In 1968, on the 30th anniversary of the Wagner-O'Day Act, the NIB Board of Directors created the Peter J. Salmon Employee of the Year Award to honor those employees who excel in their positions at NIB-associated nonprofit agencies. Named after the late Dr. Peter J. Salmon, who was instrumental in advocating passage of the Wagner-O'Day Act of 1938 and the subsequent formation of NIB. This award recognizes the outstanding achievements of the employees who are blind working at NIB-associated nonprofit agencies.
Scott Ackerman, Beacon Lighthouse.
Beverly Baker, South Texas Lighthouse for the Blind.
Gail Chambers, Lions Volunteer Blind Industries.
Teresa Christensen, Georgia Industries for the Blind.
Barbara Sissel, LCI.
Matthew Kaufman, VIA.
Marquita Cooper Lane, East Texas Lighthouse for the Blind.
John Kovaleski, Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired, Utica.
Rosemary Dennis, Bosma Enterprises.
Destiny Diaz, Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired, Goodwill of the Finger Lakes.
Jason Evans, Association for Vision Rehabilitation and Employment.
Stephen Floyd II, North Central Site Services.
Herbert Galan, San Antonio Lighthouse for the Blind.
Romeo Hall Jr., Alpha Point.
Virginia Hernandez, Lighthouse for the Blind of Fort Worth.
Mia Hickson, Lions Industries for the Blind.
Michael Ora, Vision Corps.
Joanne Johnson, Blind and Vision Rehabilitation Services of Pittsburgh.
Arthur Jones, Mississippi Industries for the Blind.
Gary Jones, Alabama Industries for the Blind.
James Jones, Northeastern Association of the Blind at Albany.
Erickson Joboyant, Midwest Enterprises for the Blind.
John Kogi, the Lighthouse for the Blind Incorporated.
Easton Cons, Industries for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Lori Ledwell, Lions Services.
Angel Lopez, Lighthouse Works.
Barbara Lutt, Louisiana Association for the Blind.
Thomas Martin, Industries of the Blind, Greensboro.
Wilfredo Martinez, Best Work Industries for the Blind.
Christopher Mendenhall, New View, Oklahoma.
Jediah Moss, Beyond Vision.
Rodolfo Munoz, West Texas Lighthouse for the Blind.
Lacey Rassley, Keystone Blind Association.
Gina Rowell, Associated Industries for the Blind.
Joshua Scarborough, Outlook, Nebraska.
Scott Smith, IFB Solutions.
Terry Strader, Clover Nook Center for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Alisa Sutton, Chicago Lighthouse Industries.
Bob Tenbrink, Cincinnati Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Keith Tyson, Blind Industries and Services of Maryland.
Adolfo Vargas, Envision Dallas.
Cedric Veal, Envision.
Paul Vidros, Lighthouse, Louisiana.
Eric Wallace, Lighthouse for the Blind, St. Louis. And the winner of the 2020 Peter J. Salmon National Employee of the Year Award is Pam Chesser of the Travis Association for the Blind in Austin, Texas.
In 1996, the NIB Board of Directors established the Milton J. Samuelson Career Achievement Award. This award is presented to an individual who demonstrates career advancement at an NIB-associated nonprofit agency or in the private sector. The late Milton J. Samuelson, former NIB board member and past executive director of the Chicago Lighthouse for People Who Are Blind or Visually Impaired, was a leader in the blindness field and an advocate for upward mobility and career development programs benefiting people who are blind.
Lovita Cruz, Lighthouse, Central Florida.
Sean Daniels, Georgia Industries for the Blind.
Sierra Diggin, North Central Site Services.
John Doring, Industries for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Sharon Elosser, Industries of the Blind, Greensboro.
John Enders, Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired, Utica.
Kelly Gert, Envision.
Floyd Gorey, Lighthouse for the Blind, St. Louis.
Faith Harding, IFB Solutions.
Randy Holmes, Blind Industries and Services of Maryland.
Deng Kong, the Lighthouse for the Blind Incorporated.
Gail Leviton, Envision Dallas.
Brittany Long, Alpha Point.
Eddie Martinez, South Texas Lighthouse for the Blind.
George Mason, LCI.
Jill Monroe, Chicago Lighthouse Industries.
Owen Neal, Lions Volunteer Blind Industries.
Richard Rivers, East Texas Lighthouse for the Blind.
Jessica Scanlon, VIA.
Jamie Simpson, Travis Association for the Blind.
Derek Suarez, Association for Vision Rehabilitation and Employment.
Christina Taylor, Alabama Industries for the Blind.
Jimmy Yoakum Jr., Louisiana Association for the Blind.
And the national winner of the Milton J. Samuelson Career Achievement Award is Sarah Heeson of Beyond Vision in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Congratulations to the winners of the 2020 awards and all of the nominees.